New month, new hairstyle. Except this month, I had a strong desire. I craved a jet black, middle part, bone straight wig. And that's exactly what I gave myself. This is by far my favorite hairstyle because it is guaranteed to make you look like a bad bitch every time. It's also super easy to achieve, and if you don't believe me, just watch this video. I'm starting from scratch today because I'm out of all of my supplies, so let's do a quick little run to the beauty supply for a re-up. The first thing I picked up was the dye, and this is my go-to jet black hair dye. I've been using this hair dye for years and it never fails me. It's by Cream of Nature and it's only $4. Next, I picked up the BW2 Extra Strength Dusted Bleach. I'm getting 2 baby packets because I'm bleaching a frontal. I still have developer at home, so I don't need that. That was all I needed, so I checked out and went home to get started. I'm telling y'all, I was fiending for that jet black middle part bone straight. I was motivated. I just so happened to have this wig from WorldNewHair come right in time to satisfy my craving. I worked with them before and I loved that wig from the last time. Their hair is really bomb, so I definitely am excited to be working with them again. My package came with a silk bag which contained a wig cap, their card, a pearl hair clip, a headband, a wig fix, an adjustable band attachment, a pair of lashes, which I never wear, but it's so nice of them, a silk scarf, the hair. This is their 26-inch 13x4 straight pre-made lace front wig in 180% density. The first thing I noticed about the wig is the fact that the knots are very spaced out, and at first I was concerned, but then I realized it's a pre-plucked wig, so that actually makes a lot of sense. The hair is also extremely soft and consistent all the way to the end, and the construction of the wig is really nice. It comes with 4 built-in clips on all 4 sides, and of course it also has the built-in adjuster to tighten your wig. If you see my last hair tutorial, then you already know how I bleach my knots, so I'm not going to be getting into that today, but I will let y'all see how I did it because I have the footage, so why not? If you haven't seen the video though, I would highly suggest watching that, especially if you're a beginner, because this just isn't that video today. I'm trying to get to this jet black bone straight middle part, okay honey? And I don't have time to waste. I still got to show y'all the watercolor method. Usually I would dye my hair jet black completely by hand, but recently here on YouTube, I've actually been seeing girls dyeing their hair jet black using the watercolor method. And as you can see, they're actually dipping their whole wigs all the way in the dye water, lace and all. Now y'all know I don't play like that. I do not play about that lace, honey. So of course I'll be doing this my own way. I'm using 2 boxes of dye for the watercolor, and I saved the other one for the frontal, which we'll be doing later. I mixed the developer and the color together in the bottle, which I suggest doing it in the bottle. Don't pour the 2 separate mixtures into the hot water because I don't think it'll mix well if it's not shaken together in the bottle first. So here's my bowl of boiling hot water. I made this water in a kettle on the stove because the hotter the water, the better it'll work. I'm pouring the dye right into the water, and it looks weird because of the way it drops in, but it's all gonna dissolve into the hot water, so just ignore that. I also poured some hot water into the bottle, shook that up, and poured that in there as well because you want to use as much of the product as you possibly can. Once it's all in there, I'm gonna mix it all up, make sure it completely dissolves. You do not want any clumps at all. I still felt like the water wasn't black enough, and I was a little nervous that it wasn't gonna work, so I added a little bit of jet black Adore dye just to be sure that it does. But since this time, I've actually done this another time without the Adore dye, and I promise it works just as well. I was just very paranoid, and I wanted this install to come out perfect. I set my timer for 10 minutes and started dipping the wig in there carefully from bottom to top. My technique here is to dip all the hair in there, obviously, but I already sectioned off the frontal, so I'm holding on to that part, making sure the lace doesn't touch the water at all. I held it still for 10 minutes and I kept checking to make sure the lace wasn't getting in the water because, again, I don't play. Once the 10 minutes are up, I'm gonna rinse the hair with cold water, but I won't be shampooing and conditioning just yet because I still have to dye the frontal part. As you can see, everything is very much jet black except for the frontal because, like I said, I did not want to take that risk. Maybe another time I'll experiment and actually dip the lace in there too, but today is just not that day. Not today, not this install, not today. Time to dye the frontal portion. I already put a trash bag over my dome head so that it doesn't get damaged, and I'm also going to pin my wig to the dome head because I want to make sure it is securely on there so it doesn't fall or move or do anything crazy while I'm dyeing the hair. I'm also sectioning the rest of the hair out because we're only focusing on the frontal right now. I sprayed the hair with water so that it could be easier to move and part and all that while I dye it. So to do this, all you're gonna need is the dye and this feather brush that I got from Sally's. This feather brush is the key to applying black dye or any dye for that matter to your frontal without getting it on your lace. I mix my dye and start dyeing my frontal starting from the very first end and taking very small bits at a time. You do not want to put a lot of product on your brush at once because it could slip off and get onto the lace. Besides that, I really don't have any big tips to share. The main goal here is to dye the hair without getting any product on the lace. I let the dye sit for about 30 to 45 minutes and then I washed it off, and this time I shampooed and conditioned because we're finally done with the whole dyeing process. Now it's time to pluck and style. We already know we're doing a middle part with a natural hairline, so this should be pretty straightforward. I always start by pressing the hair back with my hot comb so that I can see the hairline perfectly and neatly pressed back. Once it's all pressed back, I'm going to put a white paper towel on top of my dome head where the frontal would lay because this helps me to see the knots perfectly as I pluck. I learned this from Arrogant Tay. Here are the tweezers I'll be using today, and I always have a new pair of tweezers in every video because I love trying new tweezers. These are definitely my favorite though out of my whole collection. They're so cute too, with the little heart in the middle, and of course they're black, my favorite color. I'm gonna part out those baby hairs in the front because I do not pluck those at first, if at all sometimes. Once that's out of the way, I'm gonna start to pluck the middle part. I always pluck the part first because it makes everything so much easier once the parting is out of the way. Again, y'all, I have a detailed plucking video right here. It's a closure plucking video, but the same rules apply. In this video, we're just gonna focus on this journey to the jet black middle part bone straight. Right now, we're doing the middle part, and when I pluck the middle part, I always follow a tiny line going down one grid of the lace. I like a very thin, very straight, crisp line. So just follow the grids on the lace if you also like that same look. I'm also gonna make sure the hairs around the perimeter of the tracks are laying flat. Plucking on the wig stand started to get very uncomfortable, so I started plucking with the dome head between my legs, which is what's most comfortable for me, honestly. I was very meticulous about this because I really started to see the potential of this install once I started plucking. Again, like I said, check out this video for a more detailed explanation about plucking, because right now I'm just vibing, okay? Ooh, girl, are you still here? Let me know down in the comments if you're still here. Stay with me, girl. I promise it'll be worth it. I already have my ball cap on, and I already put my foundation all over my wig. All the details and nitty-gritty of my whole install process is in this video. There was a lot of excess lace on this wig, so I cut a bit of it off so that I could see what I was doing. I also marked the middle of my face because one thing that I struggle with is making my installs lopsided. And you'll see later that my install was still lopsided, so it's something that I'm really trying to work on. If you have any tips on how to prevent this, please comment down below. I was also making a reel, so if you see me showing my phone or looking down at my phone, now you know what's happening. This was honestly one of the best installs I've ever done, and it's surprisingly also one of the easiest installs I've ever done because I used a really good amount of glue and I didn't gunk the glue up. When you're applying multiple layers of glue, you have to be a little more light-handed when applying the second or third or fourth, fifth, sixth, whatever layer. Adding glue on top of glue can get easily gunky if you apply too much pressure or don't spread it correctly. You want those layers to lay smoothly and thinly on your skin so that your lace also lays thinly and smoothly on your skin. Another thing that I did that made this install one of my best was the fact that I left a really good amount of excess lace in the front. I used to be kind of scared of doing this, but I was so asleep. I don't know what I was scared of, but I'm so glad I did it this time because it made the biggest difference. I apply the lace on top of the glue very carefully, and I never push the lace into the glue until I'm sure of my placement. If you make a mistake, you can always fix it if you haven't pushed the lace into the glue. Once I like my placement, I'm now going to push the lace into my skin using my comb. So I tried to use the hair wrap that came in my bag from WorldNewHair, but it doesn't wrap around my hair twice, which is how I like to wrap it. So I just used another hair wrap I had and I let that sit while I straighten my hair. I'm using this Fantasia heat protector spray I got at the beauty supply, and I actually heard about this on Instagram and went and grabbed it, and I love it so much. I sprayed a little bit of that into the hair, rubbed it in, and it makes the hair even softer and silkier than it already is. So I'm straightening with my Baby Bliss. This is the Titanium Pro 1.5 inch. And when I tell y'all this flat iron is like so worth it. I know it's kind of pricey, but it is so worth the price. I'm so glad I bought it. This thing gets hot. So hot you can't even touch the hair after you pass it. And it damn near straightens the hair in one pass. Of course, I'm gonna do more than one pass because I said jet black middle part bone straight. Once my whole head is straight, I can take off my wrap so we can cut the lace and lay the baby hairs. I cut my lace with a razor in a jagged motion, meaning I don't cut in a straight line. Then I just clean it up with my scissors. Now I'm gonna pull out my baby hairs, and when I do this, I do like a triangle shape because the baby hairs lay better that way. I did also pull out sideburns. I just don't know where the footage is. I'm gonna run my wax stick through the hair for that sleek, shiny look and a good hold. And of course, I'm gonna follow that with my hot comb. I'm tying those baby hairs down in my hair wrap while I go pick up my dinner at Jollibee. This was a whole day process and I was starving. I'm using my baby flat iron to curl my baby hairs like Arrogant Tay taught me in his class that I didn't go to. Once they're curled, I'm gonna cut them to my desired length and start laying my baby hairs. To lay them, I'm using Edge Booster, and how cute is this pink jar? I saw this and literally bought like 3. Now that I have my desired baby hair look, I tie them down one last time for 10 minutes, and there we have it. Let's take a closer look at this install and these baby hairs. Like I said, it was a bit lopsided. I left a lot more lace on one side than the other, but I still made it work, and the baby hairs are laid as okay. I have no complaints. Everything's looking good, but we know that it's never complete without a beat face. My experience with this hair was amazing. I usually like thicker hair, but I've been falling more to the thin side. The 180% density was perfect. Again, the hair is so soft, so silky, and it doesn't require a whole lot of maintenance. I did experience shedding, but it wasn't anything unusual or unexpected. It was very normal shedding. I actually have nothing bad to say about this hair, and I wore this wig for a whole month and installed it 3 different times. Each install was just better and better. I have nothing bad to say. Like, look at look at me. The hair honestly speaks for itself. Like, you see it. You see it. Yeah. So yeah, guys, that was my journey to my jet black middle part bone straight wig. It was truly everything I dreamed it would be. I really enjoyed this whole process, and I hope you guys did too. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video or on Instagram if you follow me. Also, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!
Easy on the